Thank you, Mark. Good morning, Mikel.
Hello.
How much better is life as Arsenal manager after this recent run of form? 4 wins and 5, lots of clean sheets. Uber's back scoring again.
It is always much better. We want to continue the run. We haven't done anything. We just won a couple of games. There is still a lot of things to improve, certainly in the league table. We have to look much further. We need to be more consistent. The first half of the season is gone now, so we have another half to play, and hopefully it will be much better.
Is Uber okay? I know he went down the tunnel on Monday. Is he all right? Is he going to be fit to play on Saturday?
As far as I know, he's feeling very good.
Okay. How strong will the squad be on Saturday? As we know, you're the cup holders compared to the match when you play them in the week.
As strong as it can be. We will assess the players, who is fit to play, who is recovered. We had a few issues as well after the game. So in the next 2 days, we will see the best possible lineup to beat Southampton. We're going to be playing them twice in 3 days, which is strange, and try to keep the FA Cup run going as well.
Can you just clear up how you come to the conclusion to let Socrates leave? Was that best for everyone?
Yes, first of all, I want to thank him because he's such a professional and a great person to work with. It's a shame because this season we have a lot of central defenders. We're overloaded with foreign players, and I have to make a decision. It was a tough one. To be fair, he took it really, really well. He's always been really supportive and helpful. So from the bottom of my heart, I wish him the best. It's been a pleasure to work with him, and I wish him the best for him and his family in the next chapter.
Can you just let us know what the latest is with Messi? I know on Monday you said he was taking his medical. I mean, I presume that deal will go through today.
Yeah, but the quarantine situation is making that final step the longest ever, because they have a lot of restriction there. There are things that have to be done before announcing anything. I think everything seems going okay, but I cannot say definitely what is going to happen. So as soon as we can, don't worry that we'll mention it.
But you said on Monday to me that it's the necessary decision to take. How did you come to this conclusion, and how hard has it been for you? Because you was a teammate of him as well.
Yeah, for many different reasons. There is a history here, what happens as well in the last few years, how things develop, how I believe that the team should evolve for the future, and his position at the club. And I play with such an importance that is not playing, that is not in the squad, is a really difficult situation to sustain for both parties, because the player wants to play and we cannot give him the minutes, and obviously that situation has to be resolved.
He's a very talented footballer, but it just doesn't fit in your team. Is that fair to say?
He's a great footballer. He's a really talented footballer. He's a player that has done a lot for the football club. But at the moment, I want to take the team in a different direction. And if we would have more options, maybe he was part of some plans. He was part of some plans at the start, and he wasn't anymore at the end.
Thank you. Good luck Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ian at TalkSport.
Hi, Mikel. How are you? You've described Messi there as being a great footballer, but you want to take the team in a different direction. I mean, which direction is that? Is that a trophy-winning direction, or a challenging for the title direction?
Arsenal has to challenge for a trophy, and every game has to be won. That's the standards, the level, and the history related to us. So I want to do that in a way which our DNA shows, which is using as well a lot of talent, young talent as well, using players from our academy, and building something different. In the last few seasons, we have so many different issues not to achieve the things that we want. And in my opinion, there were things that have to be changed. And slowly, to build something, you have to start to change some pieces, and we are on that process.
You are the holders, and I just wonder if you can tell me how much that cup win last year bought you the time you're enjoying now. Because at the beginning of the season, you were under a little bit of pressure from outside. But do you think that cup win bought you the time you're enjoying now, and therefore the success you're having now?
I don't know. Yeah, when I was losing football matches, I wasn't thinking about that cup. The football and the pressure that this football club brings is win today. What you did yesterday doesn't count no more. It's about tomorrow, about the next game, about the next goal, and I just focus on that. It was great. We won 2 trophies. We in a really nice way against big teams, beating big teams, which I think it gave them more importance. But now I'm focused on what is ahead of us. That is done. Okay, we enjoyed it. Let's enjoy more in the future.
Now, as you know from chatting to me every week, I extensively do my research before talking to you, and I've found out that Southampton have never beaten you in the FA Cup. You've beaten Arsenal, beaten them in the semi-final before finals, and of course last time out you won 5-0 down at St Mary's when somebody called Theo Walcott scored a hat-trick 4 years ago. You'll be facing Theo this weekend. Do you think he's still the player he was?
Well, I think he looks really strong this season. That's for sure. He's played a lot of minutes. He scored against us a very typical Theo Walcott goal when he played at the Emirates. And yeah, he was a teammate of mine, a great lad, and I'm happy that he's doing well because he's going through some difficult periods with some really bad injuries as well, and he deserves that.
Did you always think you would be a striker, like an out-and-out front man?
He always wanted to be there. He likes to be very close to the goal, all the time threatening behind. I think he improved his finishing a lot in the last year, and his goal record improved as well a lot. Arsene used to do a lot of work with him when he was here, and he always defined him as a great timing with his movement and the arrival in the box, and it's true. And sometimes he played in there even when I was a player, and he did really well.
Well, good luck this weekend, and I hope the FA Cup continues to buy you more time.
Thank you.
Gary at Sky.
Hello, Mikel.
Hello.
Among the many, many things that you've said about the transfer window, I think at one point you said that the first half of it would be perhaps clearing a few away, which you've managed to do, and then maybe in the second half you could concentrate on if you needed to bring anybody in. Is that still the plan?
We are on that process right now. So we've done the first part more or less, and we are focusing now in the second phase. Obviously, this market and the context makes it really difficult, but we are looking at options, and we will see what we can do.
One player that the club have been linked with for quite some time is Martin Odegaard. Suggestions that you wouldn't be against bringing him in from Real Madrid on loan. What are your thoughts on him?
Sorry, Gary, but I cannot comment about players that they play for different clubs.
But a creative midfielder, attacking midfielder would be one of the types of players that you might be looking for if the opportunity arose. We
are looking at various positions because the movement that we made in this transfer window with some players leaving the club leaves is a little bit short in certain areas. So if we can, we will do it, and if we can't, we just keep going with what we have.
A player that you have got already, Emil Smith-Rowe, talk of a new deal for him.
Let's go step by step. Emil is done really well. He deserves his chance. He's taking it and grabbing it with both hands in a really convincing way. So let him be. Things will come naturally.
You're going to be sick and tired of St Mary's, aren't you, by Wednesday next week? You thought about staying down there, maybe having a bit of a break on the south coast, even in these difficult times?
Well, the difficult times have made that impossible because the restriction we have with spending time together in hotels and all that. So I think we'll be in and out very quickly.
Just a final thought. Less than a month ago, as you alluded to in one of your earlier answers, that you were under pressure. There was never a day went by when people weren't talking about whether or not you were going to get sacked by Arsenal. When you look at what's happening at Chelsea, does it make you smile that Frank's going through exactly the same now because of a downturn in results?
No, with any of my colleagues are in difficulties, I don't smile. If anything, I would like to support them. I had a lot of support. I'm pretty new here, but I have a lot of support with a lot of managers in the league. When we were going through rough times, give you some advice as well, and I think what we should do. I think we are competing with each other, but at the end we share a profession, and we know the challenges of this profession. So I wish Frank the best.
Yeah, just to clarify, it was a badly put question. I meant, do you smile that the media have now found a new victim, a new person that they're perhaps talking about being sacked rather than you?
No, I understand, but no, I just focus on what we have to do, in what we are doing, in what I am doing, and try to get better every day. And obviously, everything is going to be linked at the end of results, not about many other things. So we need to be clear on that, and you cannot take anything for granted, because you know that this job is like that.
Thank you.
Mark at the Press Association.
Morning, Mikel. Could I just ask a little bit about Cedric Suarez? He had a slow start with injuries, but I think he showed against Newcastle what he can do. Is he now at his best, and can he challenge Bellerin for that right back slot on a permanent basis?
Well, yes, he joined us. He had various injuries and some difficult times, as you mentioned, and it took him a little bit of time to adapt, to get completely free, and now the chances to play. The best thing with Cedric is the way he takes this profession, the way he trains, the way he prepares himself. So every time that we had to use him, he was always ready. He's always fit to compete, even not playing for many parts of the season. When he had to play 120 minutes, he was completely ready. And the other night, I think he had a really good game.
When you have a player that's not in the team as much as you'd like, do you almost see more of his character from how he is in the training ground and how he is around the other players, even when he's not playing?
When I see someone behaving like he's done, training like he's done, all the time trying to help, accepting my decision, which at the end is tough for him, but at the end challenging it in a way where he's all the time competing in training, when he has the chance to play, do it well, and all the time asking for reason why he's not playing, why he has to do better. I just want to reward this kind of behavior and plays, and Cedric is on that for sure.
What was your answer when he asked what he needed to do better?
We talked about some things about the game, and then what I said is that you have to stay fit. He came here with a knee injury, then have a nose issue, then he had another knee injury, and now he's been fit, and he's been competing, and now he got his chance.
You just said to Gary there, you feel you may be short in some positions. It's one of those positions at left back, because you've obviously got Kieran, but then behind that, it's not really a natural position for players.
Yeah,
like
with the departure of Kola, we're a little bit short with left-footed fullback at the moment. We know we can use Ainsley there, we can use Bukayo there, we can use Cedric, which is played in that position. We have some options, and natural options to Kieran. Obviously, we don't, but we can adapt.
Does that mean you are looking for a left back, or you're just going to see how things go?
That means that that option is open, and we'll be looking to see what is available.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.
Nick Callow.
Yeah, thanks for stealing my questions there, Mark. But we can move on. Before the last round, Mikel, I asked you whether Flo Balogun was fit, available, and in your squad. And you said he was fit and available, but we haven't sort of seen or heard from him since. Is this because he wants to leave the club that you're just not involving him anymore?
No, if anything, regarding his contractual situation with the club, I just want to convince him that he has a future at the club, and not sending the opposite message. Before, he wasn't training with the first team. We changed that. He's been training with us a lot. He's improving every single day. He's showing a real hunger and desire to be with us. And we are trying to get something done, because we want him to stay. And we have to go step by step. I think he's made some big steps in the last few months where he wasn't even training, and then he had a few good games for us. So the steps are there in every way, and we just want to try to keep him.
So why hasn't he been involved in any match day squads just not fit?
Because the competition we have now in front positions, and because there are other players that they haven't had many minutes, and they play it in the FA Cup, and it takes time, and we have to respect that pathway. Eddie as well is not playing a lot recently as well, and he's in front of him at the moment, and we have to be calm and respectful.
So he hasn't told you he's agreed a deal to go to a foreign club at the end of the season?
Excuse me, Nick?
He hasn't agreed a deal to leave the club at the end of the season then?
As far as I know, no.
Okay. Just a quick question about the cup. Ever since Arsene Wenger said how difficult it was to finish top four, and top four was like a trophy, there's been a debate about the importance of finishing top four Champions League and the FA Cup. For you now as a manager, what is the most valuable prize for you? Top four FA Cup?
I wouldn't like to choose. I would like both, Nick. We want to win every competition that we are involved. Obviously, the next step for us is to be competing in the Champions League again. And Arsene mentioned that, and it's just a few years ago, and I agree with that, because the competition was getting bigger and bigger. And in the last 3 years, that level has gone to another dimension. But this is the level that we need to achieve, and we need to get, and we need to be closer and closer to that each year.
I get your point. You can't celebrate a top four like winning a cup, can you?
No, you can't. But as well, you have to know your reality. And when you are 35 or 40 points behind the winner of the competition, to close that gap in 1 year, it's very unrealistic. Me personally, I haven't seen it done.
Okay, thanks very much. Cheers, Mikel.
James, ESPN.
Morning, Mikel. Firstly, just a general question about the window. January tends to be quite quiet anyway, but do you think for all the clubs it's maybe the toughest to do business in, given COVID and all the uncertainties that are still around?
Yes, because there are unprecedented moments, and I think we're all very cautious and conscious about what we want to do, and how we want to do it, how the market is going to evolve. So yeah, we need to be careful. We want to assess every decision really carefully, and then when we are clear about an opportunity, then we will try to do it.
Do you think, given that, the fact that you've got Socrates, Kolasinac and Ozil all off the wage bill, Saliba out on loan playing games, do you consider this a successful window now, even if you don't get anyone else in?
Well, we could not carry on with 31 players in the squad. It's unmanageable. And as well, when you have to leave some of the foreign players out, it makes it even more difficult. So to do it for a few weeks is okay. If we do it for months and maintain the health, the ambition, and the chemistry around the place, it's really complicated. So one of the main objectives was to make some decision of how we're going to offset that, and we've done it.
Given that, I mean, how much will it help you, do you think, keep building team unity and spirit now that you're going to work with a smaller group? You've got sort of fewer players to disappoint, if you like.
Just for me, the important thing is that everybody feels in both parts, and they have a chance. So they're all fighting for a place, but at the end, they need to feel that they have the opportunity when they perform to get the chance to play. And when you are completely out, that is out of the equation, and then it makes it really difficult to find that motivation. Is normal.
Just finally, a couple of months ago, you said you were trying to find out who was leaking information at the club. I just wondered if you were ever successful with that.
I have a sort of an idea, yes.
Was that related at all to the players who went out this month?
No comment on that.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.
We'll move on. 12 o'clock tomorrow, Embargo. Simon at the stand.